Hey, what's going on everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be replacing the brake pads in my Alfa Romeo Stelvio. The new pads that I'm going to be using are these DFC 5000 Advanced series. And I would like to give a big thank you to Centerline International for sending these parts out to me so that I can share my experience with you guys. This is the part number here, and this is the other part number. So we have the front and the rear. They have even included the hardware here. These items will typically cost you extra, and I'm glad that they included these so that I can show you guys what they look like and how they fit on the car. Let's have a look inside of one of these boxes, and here we have the pads. These are nicely packaged. They do include the wear sensor wire here. Let's have a look at the other ones here. And these are going to be the front ones. The great thing about these pads is that they're supposed to exhibit less brake dust. And in here we even have a little packet that this has some lubricant in it. So the tools that you're going to need are going to be pretty basic. You're going to need a ratchet, and you can use a pig tool like this one or a small screwdriver. This is used to remove the retaining clip in the rear. This right here is a T55 Torx bit. We're going to be needing this one for the front, and this right here is a number 7 Allen bit. This is what we're going to need for the rear. Here are some other tools that I recommend that you have on hand. Starting from left to right, I recommend that you use a torque wrench so that you can properly torque the bolts that are securing the calipers in place. A wire brush also comes in handy to remove debris from the calipers. You should also use something to hang the calipers after you remove them. The tool with the blue handle is a piston spreader, and that is used to retract the caliper pistons. Lastly, we have a pin punch and a rubber mallet. And this is what I have done so far. I've got the car here on this wooden stands. Here we can see just how badly these rear pads need to be replaced. And let's have a look at the front here. These are actually not too bad, but I'm still going to replace them. By the way, this car has about 45,000 miles, and these are original pads. Before you get started, you need to come here in the infotainment system and go to settings, then go to passive safety, and then go to brake service. This here is done so that we can retract the parking brake in order to perform the brake service. So let's go ahead and hit yes here. All right, we're ready to get started. It's also a good idea to disconnect the battery's negative terminal. We're going to start off by disconnecting this wear pad electrical harness connection. This one just slides into place here, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. And then we're going to disconnect it by pulling on this tab here. Let's go ahead and set this one to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this retaining clip. There is a protective cap that we need to remove here. This is for the rear mounting bolt. Now we're going to use our number 7 Allen bit to remove this bolt here. Let's go ahead and inspect this guy. This is looking really good. No rust or anything, so really good shape. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom bolt. Let's remove the cap. And these are pretty easy to remove, by the way. Not a whole lot of torque on them. All right, here's the other bolt. It's also looking really good. Maybe a little bit of rust there. I'm gonna make sure I clean that out. Now, before we pull this out, you have to be careful with this wire harness here. You can try to disconnect it from here, or you also have a grommet over here that you can just detach, and that'll make these a little bit longer and easier to work with. Be careful with this. You don't want to let it hang because you do have the brake line here, and you don't want to create any stress on that or cause any potential damage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang this from here. Let's go ahead and remove this inner brake pad, and this one just pops out like this. Let's take a look at this other one here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out a little bit. There's quite a bit of dust and grime in there. And here I'm just using a small wire brush to do this. So because the brake pads were pretty worn out, we're gonna need to retract this piston right here. Otherwise it's not gonna fit when we try to put it over the brake pads. There are different methods for retracting these. You can try using your bare hands or some compression tool. In my case, I'm gonna be using this piston spreader to make my life easier. Because we're gonna be pressing against this piston here, the brake fluid that sits inside of this cylinder here is gonna be pushed back through the brake hose. So let me show you what we're gonna do. So we're gonna come here and open up this flap. Here we're gonna find the brake fluid reservoir. We're gonna go ahead and loosen up the cap. We're not gonna remove it, we're just gonna loosen it and then let it sit on top. That is going to depressurize the system and make it easier for us to push back that piston. Now, another thing that I'm going to do is to catch that brake fluid that is gonna be coming out of here. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want any debris that's sitting in the cylinder to be pushed back into the system. And this is a good way of catching the debris if there is any. All right, let me bring this guy over here and I'm going to remove the bleeder screw cap. That's this one right here. So this is an extra step and it is completely optional, but I highly recommend that you guys do this. This is going to require that we loosen the bleeder screw with an 11mm wrench. You don't want to loosen it too much, otherwise you're going to have this, just a little bit of fluid coming out. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up right here to my catch bottle, and I'm going to set that right there. Oh yeah, it's really coming out now. All right, we got it all the way out. Now let me go ahead and tighten the bleeder screw again. Let that drain back in there. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And you definitely want to be wearing gloves for this because this brake fluid is very corrosive. You don't need to tighten this super tight. In case you wanted to torque this, this would require 9 inch-pounds, equivalent to 1 Newton-meter. Don't forget that you need to put the cap back on. I took a peek inside there. Probably won't be able to see this in the video, but there's a small amount of debris that came out of that cylinder. Here I have one of the new pads, and this is the inside one. You can tell the difference by looking at the cable here. This is your wear sensor, and these have some really nice pads. It even has the spring already attached to it. The service manual recommends that you apply a little bit of lubricant right here on the shoulders. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So it's up to you if you wanna do it or not. I'm also going to apply some lubricant right here where the piston presses up against the pad. You can use the lubricant provided in the kit, or you can use something like this. This is a copper anti-seize lubricant. Now, before I proceed, I want to stress something that's really important. Anytime that you're dealing with grease, you don't want to get any of that on here or any type of grease. All right, this is very important. If you get grease on this pad right here, you will compromise its effectiveness. I even took the extra precautions of changing out my gloves before going ahead and touching this. And we don't need a whole lot. We're gonna do that here and here. All right, so I'm going to very carefully set this in there, making sure that I don't get any grease on the pad. Here we have the other pad. I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. I'm gonna add some grease here to the shoulders. Nothing on this side because we don't have a piston pressing up against on this side. Now we're ready to bring the caliper and put it on here. Make sure that you route the cable here through this hole. And there we have it. All right, make sure that when you do this, that this cable isn't pinched. All right, so I'm ready to install the bottom bolt here. I'm gonna go ahead and slide it in there. I did not replace these rubber boots, by the way. They're still in pretty good shape, and it's also a bit of work to get these out and put the new ones in. I will be using the new end caps though. So I'm just threading it in by hand to get it started. So the torque specs for these bolts here is going to be 20 foot-pounds, which is equivalent to 27 Newton-meters. Now let's go ahead and do the top one. I am also going to be using this new retaining clip. When you put in this in, just make sure you do it like this. All right, so you're going to slide it in this place right here. And then also you want to secure it at the bottom there. And for this side, I am going to be pushing in from here. And also I'm going to be using this pick tool to pull it out. So we're pretty much wrapping things up here, guys. The last thing I need to do right now is to reconnect this wear sensor. And this one just slides into place. Also, don't forget about this rubber grommet back here in case you disconnected that. And that's it. Our rear brake pads are done. Let's move on to the front. All right, so the first thing that we need to do here in the front is to remove these pins right here. All right, so I got a punch pin in my hand and I'm gonna go ahead and punch those out. There's one. This one looks pretty good still. I could reuse it, but since I got new ones from Centerline, I'm gonna go ahead and use those. This one's needing a little bit of help to push it out completely. There we go. Next, we're going to remove these bolts right here, and we're going to use our T55 Torx bit for that. These are looking really clean. I live in Florida, so we don't have snow here. Things are pretty well kept. It looks almost brand new. Be mindful that there is a weight here, so make sure you don't lose this. Now we have this connector right here, which is for the wear sensor. So let's go ahead and disconnect that. Let me just move this one out of the way there. We're also going to need to slide this out right here, which is where it connects to, and pull it out from the caliper. Now we're ready to remove our 2-piston caliper. These are Brembo calipers. Be mindful that the brake line in the front is metal, so you have to be really careful with it. As I'm pulling this out, this brake pad is about to come out, so I'm gonna try to catch it if I can. So there it is. Let's get the other one out. Here is the other one. I'm gonna get a flathead screwdriver for that. But before I go get that, let me go ahead and hang this up here. And I'm gonna use 2 of these hangers. And this is the new one right here. All right, so let's go ahead and put this one in there. It is a perfect fit. Once again, I'm gonna use a little wire brush here to clean out the area where the brake pads sit. This piece is a little bit tighter, so it's a little bit more difficult. Just do the best you can. One thing that I forgot to show when we're doing the rear pads is that when you're bleeding the brake fluid, there may be some residual amount left in there. So you can use something like this. This is like a paint touch-up applicators. So I'm gonna go ahead and take one of these out. Then you can dip that in there and notice that there's some fluid there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this towel here to get all of that out. Remember that this fluid is very corrosive and you don't want this coming out here and ruining, especially your rubber parts. All right, now that we have the pistons retracted, we can go ahead and install our new pads. And again, just a reminder, make sure you don't get any grease on this pad right here. And another thing that I want to note here is that you're gonna notice here in the rear, you got the shims here, and these pads have an arrow here. What this arrow means right here is that you need to make sure that when you install this pad, the arrow is pointing in the direction that the wheel is turning as the car is moving forward. If we look at the old pads, those also have an arrow right here. All right, so just make sure that when you're putting the new one in, it is pointing in the same direction. And by the way, the pad that has this wire attached to it is the one that is going to go in the inside. And just to drive the point home, look at this other pad. This one is also for the inside, but if we look at the backs here, look at the arrows. They're pointing in different directions, all right? So that tells me that this one right here is gonna be for this side of the car, and this one over here is gonna be for the other side of the car. Because when I install that one, it's gonna be like this, okay, pointing forward. And when I install this one, the arrow is also gonna be pointing forward. Before I slide this one in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of anti-seize grease on this one here where the pistons touch on the pad. And although the service manual doesn't say anything about the shoulders here for the ones in the front, I'm still gonna add just a little bit of grease here on this shoulder here. I'm not gonna be adding it to the pad itself, just to the metal piece right here. All right, so this is what it looks like. I've added just a little bit here on the edges. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this in there around the retaining clip. And by the way, the service manual does recommend that you replace this retaining clip every time you change the brake pads, at least here for the front. All right, so I have my outer pad ready to go. And the reason why we apply this anti-seize grease is to isolate any vibration noises. Perfect. And also forgot to mention that these pads are going to have like an arch here at the bottom. So you want to make sure that this is towards the bottom when you're putting it in. And this is where the pins slide through. All right, so it's ready to go now. So I'm going to go ahead and install these new pins that came in this hardware kit. These are about 15 bucks as I'm recording this video, so I think this is well worth it. Make sure that as you slide this in there that it catches the pad. So make sure that the pad is seated all the way in. Okay, thank you. Just make sure that the tip is sticking out here. There's also a groove right here in the caliper to slide this guy in there. We're gonna put back these mounting bolts here. So remember, this one with this weight on it is gonna be the bottom one. These will need to be torqued to 77 foot-pounds or 105 Newton meters. And the way I like to do this is instead of torquing one bolt at a time, you know, like 77 here and 77 foot-pounds here, that's gonna create an uneven pressure. So instead I'm gonna be doing 50 foot-pounds and then another 50 here, and then I'm gonna bump it up to 77. All right, we're all set. Now I just need to hook up this connector here, and then I'm gonna slide it in here. And voila, we're done with the front. I'm not gonna be showing you guys how to do the other side since the process is gonna be identical. Make sure that you torque the lug nuts to 89 foot-pounds. So we're all done here. I've completed the job. This is the next day because I ran out of daylight. The next thing to do now is to make sure that you secure the cap on this reservoir right here. All right, make sure you tighten that up before we do anything further. And don't forget about this cover here. So this step is really important. Before you reconnect the battery, make sure that you pump the brakes. We pull some fluid out of the system, so now the hydraulic pressure is going to be lower than the last time the car was running. The computer is going to recognize that drop in hydraulic pressure, and it may throw some codes. So to prevent that, we're going to pump the brakes to restore the hydraulic pressure that was in the system. So let me go ahead and depress the brake pedal. And the first time you do it, you're going to notice that it's going to go all the way in. And that's due to the lack of pressure. All right, release it, pump it again. This time is a little bit stiffer. All right, just do it a few times. All right, there is good. Now we can go ahead and reconnect the battery. There, my battery has been reconnected. Now I'm gonna go back in and start the car. And don't worry if you see these warning lights. I'm gonna show you guys how to clear those in a second. These are not trouble codes, this is different. Before doing that though, let me go ahead and take care of this first. Right here it says that we need to reset the parking brake. So basically we need to get the car out of service mode. So we need to depress the brake pedal, and then we're going to set the parking brake. And that's it, it shows that it's complete. Now to reset these warning lights, all you're going to do is to turn the wheel all the way to the left until it's full lock, and then do the same thing all the way to the right, full lock, bring it back to the middle. Then we're going to shut off the car and we're going to start it again, and that's going to clear those warnings. It is recommended that you run your new pads through a bedding process. You shouldn't have too much trouble finding videos on how to do that or searching online for instructions. The process involves driving your car at a certain speed and then slowing down and doing that multiple times. During proper bedding, a thin layer of pad material is transferred and baked onto the rotor surface. This transfer layer, sometimes referred to as bedding layer, becomes the actual working surface. Without it, you may get poor initial braking performance, uneven pad wear, hot spots or glazing on the pads or rotors, as well as increased risk of noise and vibration. Love the channel? Join as a member for bonus videos, early access, shoutouts, and more. Just click the join button. It helps me keep creating and you get cool perks. Thanks.